Hey everybody, Melissa here, the Unlikely Hiker. Today I thought I would bust some backpacking myths. There are a lot of myths about backpacking, the backcountry, hiking, maybe even camping. I don't even know really why they're out there. I'm sure that they started maybe for a good reason, but let's check a few out and see if we can bust these myths. The first one on my list is bear bells will warn a bear of your presence and keep it away. I have not been able to find any evidence this is actually true. But what can happen is the sound of a bell in the backcountry is foreign to bears and it can make them curious. They're curious creatures by nature. So they might actually come looking for what is making that weird noise. So then the bear bell becomes a dinner bell. So be very cautious with that. I will never wear a bear bell in the backcountry. I will talk to myself. I will talk to my dog. I will sing. I will whistle. Occasionally maybe hey bear. I personally do not backpack where there are any grizzlies, so that's not a consideration. There are black bears. Some of the black bears are habituated, but if they're habituated, they're just coming around for food. In my experience and what I could find online, bear bells really don't work. Backpacking myth number 2, you need to carry a firearm or large knife to protect yourself in the backcountry. This is totally false in my opinion. Now, if you're a gun owner or you prefer to carry a large knife with you while you're backpacking because it makes you feel good, by all means, carry that firearm, carry that knife. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I don't want to carry that extra weight. Do you? I don't know. I don't think so. Most wild animals don't want anything to do with you. Although crime does happen in the backcountry, it is exceedingly rare. You're far more at risk in a suburban or urban setting. Your best weapons in the backcountry is your brain and your intuition. That's going to give you a sense of when a situation could be dangerous. And if something does happen in the backcountry, you aim for where it hurts, you slam your palm upwards into their nose, and you run screaming fire, because you're rarely alone in the backcountry. But if you want to carry that gun or you want to carry that knife, by all means do. Doesn't bother me in the least. The third myth is only survivalists go backpacking to practice their bushcraft skills. And this is mentioned to me all the time. Oh, do you build your own shelter? You know, are you hunting your own food? And yeah, absolutely not. There is a lot of crossover between the two. And I think that people who have bushcraft skills, that's awesome. I mean, there's a part of me that wants to do more of that. I just don't have time. But if you want to go practice those bushcraft skills, by all means, go for it. I'm sure that there's hikers and backpackers out there that don't know how to start a fire from scratch. I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure that there's backpackers and hikers who wouldn't even know how to craft any type of shelter, but it's fun to try. Fourth backpacking myth busted. You have to be in shape to backpack. This actually blows my mind when people think this. You can be in any shape to go backpacking. You start where you are. If you can only walk a half a mile down your block, that's where you start, and then you build up from there. That's the important part. All shapes and sizes belong in the backcountry, and just because you're overweight does not mean you can't hike big miles, because that's just false. It's insanely untrue, and people need to understand that, and I want to see all kinds of people, shapes, sizes, colors, and everything out on the trail, because it gets boring. I want to see lots of different people. I want to meet lots of different people. The only shape you have to be in to go backpacking is whatever shape you are. And as a tag along to point 4 is you have to train to backpack. Again, this is just not true. The best training for backpacking and hiking is backpacking and hiking, right? So put a pack on, go walk down your street, and build from there. So start where you are. This next one we all get sucked into, oh my Lord. The fifth myth is you have to have your gear dialed in before you can go backpacking. This makes zero sense whatsoever. The gear I started with 10, 15, however many years ago, I don't have that gear anymore, because what you prefer out on the trail is what you prefer out on the trail. Gear is an evolution. Again, you start where you are with what you have. If it's borrowed gear, that's where you start. And you're going to start to develop opinions about what you want out of gear, what kind of gear you like, where you would want to be. For me, I've had to transition to ultralight items like my tent, my pack, my sleep system, just because I really cannot carry that much weight on my back as I get older. It's just a thing. But you know, a few years ago, it wasn't as big of a deal, and a 2.5 pound tent was okay. And now it's just too much. So start where you are and build from there. Form those opinions first, because you don't know what's going to work for you. I know what gear I like, and I can tell you why I like it, but it might not work for you. And that's the reality of so many things in life. We're all different, and I like that about you. And the 6th point is you should never backpack alone. This is ridiculous. This is actually ridiculous. If you actually believe you cannot hike alone, yeah, I just don't know. Now, let's get one thing straight. If you don't like to hike alone, that's totally awesome. You're gonna have a great social experience out on the trail. Me personally, I have a very noisy life. I look forward to not being with anybody on the weekends when I go backpacking and hiking. That is me time. I like spending time with myself. I'm good with myself. I'm happy with myself, and it's okay. I like being left alone with my thoughts, because backpacking and hiking gives me an opportunity to kind of work through some things in my head and then put them to bed. So for me, that works. There's always some safety precautions. I tend to use the word we when I'm talking to somebody else. I don't broadcast on social media where I'm going to be at any point in time, and I carry my Garmin. There's things that I do to mitigate my aloneness, if you will. I have my dog with me, and believe it or not, she's super friendly, but if she gets a weird vibe about you when chatting with others on the trail, I'm usually very vague about what my plans are, and that's just an intentional thing. And if I get a weird vibe about somebody, I just move on. Hiking alone is absolutely acceptable. You should try it. Even if you're a little afraid, start with like a short hike or whatever. But if you like big social hikes, and I do on occasion myself, then that's awesome. It's fine to hike alone. Carry that gun if you want. That's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed these myths busted. Tell me down in the comments, are there any myths that you have heard that maybe I didn't cover? Let me know. And if you think I'm an idiot for any of my answers, tell me that too, because I'm interested to know. If you did find any value in this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I'll see you out on the trail. Bye-bye.